Welcome to the Bushido Gang. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's AttackonSamurott, bringing you all another Pokemon Showdown tournament review. So, this is my round 1 match against Finchinator for the NU Open. Now, I guess it's actually been a long time since I've actually done tours again, but I guess with this, I'm officially back into doing tournaments. So this is my first tour in about last time I did a tour was somewhere around October, I think, October or September. So it's been roughly 5 months since I last played in a tournament. But yeah, I'm back, man. I'm back. So I wanted to cover my games against Finchinator for the NU Open, pretty much give my thoughts about it and whatnot. So yeah, this is gonna be game 1. Before we get started though, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, the Bushido Gang, and subscribe for some more content on the channel. And yeah, check out all my social media links. They'll be down in the description. So, game 1 versus Finchinator. Now, Finchinator, just a little bit of background knowledge on Finchinator. Finchinator is one of the best tournament players out there. He's very known for playing black and white, and he's also known for playing lower tiers as well. Specifically NU in this gen, and also NU from last gen as well. I don't know if he played Gen 6 NU either, or even Gen 5 NU. Not too sure about that, but you guys let me know that in the comments or something. But yeah, again, he's a very well-known player. So I'd probably say Finchinator is on the same level as when I fought Solwyn back in like what, 2 years ago now. Crazy. It's been 2 years since then. But yeah, I'd probably say he's on that same level. So, I mean, it's not like I'm not used to playing people like Finchinator. Again, I played other highly competitive players as well. But still, just being able to play him is actually pretty cool. So, I was a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. But I was also excited because again, my first tour in months, and I feel like I've been doing really well in NU recently. So I was just like, you know what, hey, I may as well just do it anyway. So a little bit of knowledge first before we get into the replays. Round 1, I had no idea that the Pokemon that the tier shift drops, they don't count for round 1. So Grimmsnarl and Stakataka, those 2 recent drops. And I guess also Hitmontop as well. Well, actually, Hitmontop doesn't really matter. You can still use it here anyway. So that is one of the rises that came into NU. But for the drops, though, that dropped into NU, they are not, legal until after round 1. So I just want to mention that right now, that I had no idea that was actually that I couldn't actually do that. Because I actually had prepared ahead of time to use some teams that I had built already with Grimmsnarl or with Stakataka on it. But yeah, I didn't know. Just wanted to put that out there. Anyways, game 1. So matchup-wise, Finchinator has a really balanced looking team with the core of Diancie, Vape, Vileplume, and Copperaja. My team is more specially based since I'm running Specs Expelled and Specs Guzzlord. This was a really hard game to play. The reason why this game was really difficult to play was mostly because I was really trying to break that Vaporeon. And Vaporeon is a very hard mon to break for this team. Mostly because I don't have, really any hard-hitting mons besides my special attackers. And Vaporeon can do a lot of things. Mostly it's Spadef these days to take on, X-Cloud and other special attackers. But this thing is very bulky. It can take hits very well. Very, very well. So I kind of went in the mindset playing this game that okay, X-Cloud actually looks pretty good here, despite him having 2 resists, being Copper and being Diancie. X-Cloud still looks pretty strong. So I felt confident enough to go in with that game plan, knowing okay, as long as I bring X-Cloud in to pressure him enough, and also waste his wishes, then I can be able to break his team down. But again, Finchinator is a very good player, so playing around him takes quite a bit of skill, and also luck as well. Not gonna lie about that. But yeah, again, if I could break his course with X-Cloud plus Guzzlord, then Tauros has a pretty good Tauros has pretty good odds of actually breaking this team. So that's kind of the mindset I had going into this game. Anyways, let's dive in and see what actually happened. Alright, here we go. So, turn 1, I lead with... I don't know, because my screen is lagging. Okay, so I lead with Diancie. Okay, no, I meant, hold on, my bad. Okay, so he led with Diancie as I led with Mudsdale. And he switches out right away as I get my rocks down. Now, yeah, I get rocks down, and I go for EQ on the switch, and EQ does a lot. So yeah, judging by how much EQ did to Vaporeon, that is definitely a more specially invested Vaporeon, because it did not keep that Earthquake very low. So again, offensively, when it comes to what I can actually use to pressure his team, or physically offensively when it comes to how I can pressure the Vaporeon, really it only comes from from Mudsdale and from Tauros. And Tauros, unfortunately, isn't Life Orb on this set. I'm actually running a Choice Scarf one. Because Choice Scarf Tauros, from what I've been using, because again, this team right here, I've actually used this before in a live, and I really did like it. So that's why I went in for game 1 using this team. Just because it felt like a nice team that could just pressure a lot of opposing stuff. Again, I wasn't really like scouting for whatever Finchinator could do. I pretty much just brought whatever I felt like bringing. And again, this team felt the most comfortable for me. So yeah, again, EQ did a lot, and Mudsdale it's very hard without any attack investment. So seeing as how much that did, that definitely told me that Vaporeon was not physically defensive. So I switched out to go X-Cloud as they're gonna go for a Wish there. Again, Wish was fine. He knew I was gonna switch out anyway because he knew I was gonna risk getting Scald, Burned, or whatnot. So he made the safe play going for that. Now bringing in X-Cloud, I felt like was safe enough because I thought I can actually pressure the Vape, but again, that Earthquake damage definitely, not then, not that, I didn't really think about it then, but seeing as how much that did, this Vaporeon is definitely more specially based. But yeah, he goes for Protect there as I go for Boom Burst, so he managed to waste a Protect, or waste a Boom Burst, and also gets Recovery back. So I go for it again, it is 62%, and he's just gonna keep Wish Stalling me out. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put him into a range to where he's not gonna be able to get get back to full health. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to pressure this Vaporeon as much as possible, which means I'm gonna have to kind of run through my Boom Burst a little bit. So yeah, but this is gonna be going on for a couple turns, so I'm just gonna let you know that right now. But yeah, oh wait, crap, I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, for a couple turns this will be going down, or this will be going on. So like, I get low rolls, he gets high rolls. Or I mean, I get low rolls and mid rolls. I don't really get enough high rolls there. But yeah, 99 and plus lefties. So again, I'm just trying to put him to a range where he's not fully healed, not fully at 100%, but he'll always be able to get back to full, judging by from the Wish Protect, from the Wish Stall and whatnot. But yeah, 199 or 95, 91. I get a 67 roll, so that's a little bit higher than last time. So he can still tech there, but then he'll be a little bit lower afterwards. So he'll be at like 90%, which is what I was hoping for. I wanted to get to that percentage right there. So I go for it again, and I get a 58 roll. Again, if I got another high roll there, I actually could pressure this thing a little bit more. But again, getting that high roll was really, really tough. Like 67 was the highest I got. So he was still able to recover that off, and he'll be able to pretty much get back to full. So I switched out to go Tauros here as he goes for Protect there, and now he's pretty much back to full. So I really didn't get much out of that in hindsight. Yeah, I really didn't get much back. I really didn't get much out of that in hindsight. Like, again, the most I got was 67%, which isn't bad. But if I kept going for it, maybe I could have kept trying to pressure it. But again, that's just really tough to do. And again, I wasted a lot of Boom Bursts there. I'm already at 6, and he's at like 10 wishes. So, well, 10 wishes and 10 protects. So like, I managed to sell out his wishes, but at the same time, I wasted a lot of PP with Boom Burst. I can still use enough to be able to break down the rest of this core, but Vaporeon is a very tough bitch to break. So, yeah, anyways, Diancie's going to be the mono switching here, and I bring in Tauros on the switch-in. So he switches out and brings in Diancie on that turn. And pretty much all I wanted to do was go for Body Slam. So I did that. I went for Body Slam and did 60%, which is not that much. And he's able to actually pressure me as I go Mudsteel here. So I go Mudsteel, and he makes a double into Talonflame on the switch. Now, I'm going to let you know I actually do have Smackdown, but he got me with the burn. So he got me with the burn. I'm able to, like, break it down, and he goes for Smackdown there, or Smack it down. But what he can do now is go for Roost, and I messed up here. I went for Stealth Rock there because I thought he'd default. That was a terrible play on my end. That was actually really bad. I didn't get anything out of that. Like, in hindsight, I should have went for Earthquake. That would have done a little bit more and would have forced him to keep roosting, or at least forced him to switch out and take chip on something else. But yeah, that burn really, really sucks for me. So the fact I didn't get that burn off is it's kind of a turn off for me. A pretty big turn off. So So yeah, that really sucks. Now Vileplume's in here, and Vileplume's actually a threat. Vileplume was a mon I didn't really consider too much, just because personally from playing a lot of ladder, I didn't really see Vileplume that often. Like really the last time I saw Vileplume on ladder was when I fought against, what was his name? Sibilla. When I fought against Sibilla on ladder, and that was like months ago. So I had no idea Vileplume was still like viable or was still even around. But yeah, this mon's still good. Very good Poltergeist Absorber since they don't run items, and good Strength Sap mon. Pretty much just covers a lot of the physical attackers and whatnot. So it's a very solid mon. It's very solid. And unfortunately, it's a mon I did not consider at all. And because I didn't consider this mon at all, this mon is kind of gonna push my shit in. I'm not gonna lie. This thing is very dangerous. EQ just doesn't do very much damage. And pretty much what I do here is that I thought he'd go for Strength Sap, so I go Xatu here on the switch. But he goes for Sledge Bomb instead and catches my switch. No poison there, thankfully. I go for Roost there. And he's just gonna, not risk the. I mean, he's just gonna go for Sledge Bomb and just, risk taking psychic damage, which I wasn't really sure why he did it, but I guess maybe he just knew that I wanted to keep this healthy, which is why he decided to go for Roost. Or why he decided just to keep attacking me instead. So Finchinator made the better call doing that and just applying pressure on me. What I should have done was actually apply pressure back on the Vileplume. Now Vileplume is mostly defensive. Again, just basing on the nature of how it's ran. Again, Strength Sap like toxic stuff, or Strength Sap like growth stuff. Again, I didn't really consider it then. I really didn't consider this mon at all. Like what I should have done with this Xatu. This Xatu actually has Future Sight and also Heat Wave as well. So pretty much I cover for Escavalier and other steel types, and I also cover for the switch-ins. So what I should have done was apply pressure with this thing, but yeah, he got the poison on me, and that sucked a lot. That means now I can't really switch in on this thing very well, and again, poison just sucks. I go for Psychic now, but it was way too late. So if I had done it on that turn, the turn previously, I might have been able to get out of this. But yeah, poison's just gonna be doing too much to me, and Skull's doing even more to me. So like, Xatu's pretty much kind of dead at this point. So I go for Nightshade just to do some chip to it, and he pretty much kills me off. So Xatu's dead now. Now what I can do is bring in Tauros, and I can apply pressure with the Body Slam. He goes for Tech there to scout again, so he's gonna keep scouting for my moves, waste another Tech turn. So I go for Body Slam here. Body Slam is doing 41%, but he can just wish that off. So yeah, if I was a Life Orb set, this probably would have died already. But yeah, not being Life Orb sucks. And again, he's already probably calced that already by seeing how much Body Slam did to Diancie, but he's just gonna keep wish stalling a little bit. So I am stalling out the wishes, but it's not enough. I go Sylveon here now, as he's gonna go for the Protect there, and just pretty much just keep spamming that Wish Protect going on. So so now what he can do is bring in Raja, as I force the Raja and I go for Heal Bell. So now I'm able to remove the burn from Mudsill, which is really, really important for me, because I can actually still put some pressure on him. So he goes for the Whip there, catching my Mudstill, and I can't switch into Mudstill really that safely. So what I have to do is go Guzzlord on it, and what he does is that he actually catches the switch and goes for Heavy Slam instead. Catching Heavy Slam is kind of a weird word to say. He just goes for it anyway because he thinks I'm just gonna keep staying in with Sylveon. So he just made the better play, and also it's accurate too. And if I did go Mudstill, like I would have still gotten momentum off that. But yeah, yeah, pretty much what I do here is I bring in Guzzler, and Guzzler's able to take the Heavy Slam or the Power Whip pretty well. Now unfortunately the Copper Raja is an AV set, so I can't really break through the AV Raja that well, besides again dealing with a Mudsill or with Tauros. So yeah, so Valley's in here, and I go for Dark Pulse here on the switch, and Dark Pulse has a pretty good chunk to it, not gonna lie. He just goes for U-turn there and does a lot to me, and I go for Dark Pulse again, and Dark Pulse is not gonna do very much to Diancie, since Diancie is just very, very bulky. Yeah, doing 20%. It's like decent, but not enough. I go Mudsill here, as he's going to catch me with the Press there. So he goes for Press. I get a +1 boost now. And now what I can do is go for Earthquake here pretty safely. I was thinking that was a safe play, so I do go for it. And Vileplume is going to get hurt by that Earthquake by quite a lot. Now, I already mentioned that my Mon is already dead, so I go X-Cloud here. And he goes for Strength Sap, and with Strength Sap, he's going to be almost back to full. Now I go for the Boom Burst here. He goes to Diancie and he sacks it. So he sacks Diancie here on this turn because he's not going to really keep that Mon around anymore. So he's able to waste 2 of my Boom Bursts, which sucks a little bit, but I can still apply pressure with this thing. So right now I feel like I'm in a decent spot, but it's still pretty tough because one, Raj is still pretty free for him. and two, one of the mons I actually can bring in on this thing is very weakened after taking U-turn chip. So it's not exactly, you know, free. I'd say it's not exactly free for me. So I don't have a really comfortable switching for Raja at this moment. So pretty much I have to just sack something or just stay in here with X-Bot, which I don't want to do because X-Bot's still very strong here in this kind of end game scenario. Even with Vape, you know, still being able to wish protect stall and everything, this mon can still be still come in clutch. In fact, even Tauros can still be pretty good in this end game scenario too, since Valplume's been chipped enough to the point where I feel like Body Slam can still two-shot it, and same with Talonflame. Granted, I have to, you know, not get burned and whatnot, but yeah. Anyways, Raj is in here. I go for the Boom Burst. It does 31%, which isn't bad damage at all. Heavy Slam is going to knock out my X-Cloud, so I pretty much decided to take the trade. I go Tauros here. Now, this is a play that matters a lot. Pretty much, I was thinking a lot about this play. He knows I'm Scarf. He knows I'm Scarf at this point. He's already deduced that. So this kind of, well, okay, for one, losing X-Cloud was probably the worst play that could have happened. And honestly, I probably should have just sacked Sylveon. If I sacked Sylveon, I might have gotten something else out of this, but I really wanted to keep it for some reason. I don't remember why. I think I wanted to try to wish back Mudsteel at some point, but it's really hard to do that when half the team beats Mudsteel anyway. More than half the team beats Mudsteel. So it wasn't going to be easy for me to bring that mon back to full health. So that's why I felt like sacking X-Cloud was better, but it really wasn't. I should have sacked Sylveon a lot sooner. That mon wasn't going to do anything for me at that point. So I made a bad call, and because of it, I let one of my win cons go down. So that really sucked for me. That sucked tremendously for me. But now I have to bring in Tauros here, and Tauros is the only mon I can actually feel safe enough to bring in because I can't go Guzzlord because Guzzlord's not going to kill that thing. And also, you know, Finch has a check to Guzzlord anyway. He has a fire check and Vape. So it's not easy for me. Dark Pulse is still technically free. I still could have made the play to go Guzzlord anyway and still go for the Dark Pulse because I still would have gotten a kill on something. But Vape was going to take fairly well. It was just a really weird situation to be in. I didn't really think too much about it, or I didn't think too deeply into it. Mostly because timer as well. Granted, I was taking my time pretty, like, I was actually playing, like, relatively fast. Again, only, like, giving myself 30 seconds in between and whatnot. But, this play right here for turn 41, I was really thinking, should I just go for the Body Slam anyway? Or should I just go for CC? Because I felt like he wasn't going to keep Raja anymore. But, again, he knows I'm Specs Guzzlord. So, I thought, you know, maybe he would try to pivot around it. But I should have been more aggressive and just went for Body Slam anyway. Instead, what I do is I go for close combat because I'm thinking he's just going to sack this thing. And that didn't work out too well for me as I'm going to get burned here by the Talonflame close combat. So yeah, I get burned there, which sucks a lot. I can still heal Bell Tauros back, but here's the problem. You can just pivot out and go into Vileplume and he messes me up right here. So that's what sucks a lot. I can still wish up, or I can still heal Bell up, but you can just growth up here. And that's bad. That's really bad. Guzzlord's not going to take that hit. I have to just let this die here. So I go for the wish there. He goes for a Sludge Bomb doing 66% to me, so that's a lot of damage. I go for a Capra Voice to get some chip on it. Not going to do too much. He goes for Sludge Bomb again and pretty much dies there. Yeah, I don't get my wish here. I just don't. I go for the Body Slam. He doesn't even kill it. He gets to sleep. He gets to expect the effects pour off and Giga Drain to me. So that sucked a lot. I didn't even get the kill off there. So that mattered. That mattered a lot. I probably would have killed it, I think. If I can calc to be sure. But I feel like I got low rolled. There. Let me just check real quick. Let me check the Vileplume sets before we actually move on, because again, Vileplume is a mon I don't really consider too much. I don't think about that mon. I never really thought about that mon while playing on ladder, but that is a mon that you should always consider on ladder anyway. Yeah, I need to calc to see how much that mattered. Tauros versus Vileplume. Just so you guys can see for yourselves. So a Life Orb variant, you know, again, that does a lot more. That's Sheer Force boosted, of course. Now versus Vileplume, which is defensive these days. Body Slam with a Life Orb just 44 to 52%. So actually, I wasn't gonna kill that. Wow. And that's with Life Force. Jeez. Okay, so maybe that didn't matter. Hold on, wait, let me go back to that. I didn't mean to go to Showdown. What percentage was it at again? It was at 50, it was at 58. 58 plus Hyper Voice. So 39%, and then he went for the Slush Bomb there. I think that did matter. I think it did, but let me just calc it anyway. But again, if it did 44 to 52% with Life Orb, then I don't know if that would have killed. No, it was actually wow. I need a high roll to kill it. I need like a max high roll to kill. So I needed that 40 roll. Technically it was at 38, but yeah, I needed that 40 roll to kill that. Okay. Well, now I know. Now I know Vileplume is mostly defensive, so that's a mon I can't check that well, or that's a mon that I can't check as well as I would have thought. But yeah, me not killing that sucked a lot, but also him getting the sleep off sucked as well. So yeah, this not killing sucks. But what can you really do? You know, can't really. I played the best I could against him in this game. It was a really tough matchup. I'm not gonna lie. This game was not easy. This was not an easy game for me. I felt like I played it the best I could, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Also, I still think Guzzler would have been pretty effective here as well, but yeah, I just didn't play it as well as I could have, and pretty much he wins this game. As he just scald me and pretty much that's gonna be GG. So yeah, again, this was a really hard game to play. It was a very hard game to play. I don't know what else I could have done differently besides probably play a Tauros more aggressively, or really no, actually. No, I think it really did come from not playing Xbox not as effectively, because Xbox really could have broken this team down. It really could have, but again, I wasn't aggressive enough. I wasn't. I had the tools to be aggressive enough, but I wasn't like. I didn't do enough. I didn't do enough, and I didn't know how to do enough against this team. Like, again, I really kind of thought just short term. Xpel beats this team. That's literally what I thought, but I didn't consider how to actually do it. So that's kind of what really brought my downfall, I guess, for this game. Like I said, Xpel plus Guzzler was actually really strong here, especially once Diancie went down. And Diancie going down wasn't that hard to do when I had Mudstill, Xpel, and I think I had Iron Hit on Tauros too. So Diancie going down wasn't that difficult to get to happen, but I definitely didn't play as well as I should have for game 1. So I will say that. But Finch played really well. He preserved his mons very well, and he knew what to do. Me, I was trying to figure that out throughout this game. So yeah, I lose game 1, but there's still more to come. So stay tuned for that. Let me go to game 2. So here's game 2. I pretty much brought the same. I mean, it looks like the same team from this one. Like, it looks like the same Attacka team, but it's actually very different because I have Kingdra on it. But yeah, this is game 2. So game 2, I feel like I played a lot better. Also, he did get kind of mad at me because I brought Tazakrook again, and I had Tazakrook on the Attacka team, which, I mean, in my head, I didn't really think that mattered, but to him, that mattered a lot for some reason. But yeah, again, I just want to apologize in advance about that. Anyways, this team I felt was a lot stronger. Also, this is the team I played, or I was using on ladder when I was playing with Homie. So this team right here, I liked a lot because I like Kingdra. If y'all don't know, I love Kingdra. Kingdra is a good-ass mon. I don't care what anybody says. Kingdra is fucking great. Like, Kingdra is a really good sweeper, man. That mon is a good-ass sweeper. And I really think it needs more attention. Man, I think it's great. I think it's amazing to use. Now, looking at the matchup, I realized 2 things. I realized that Tauros is really good in an endgame scenario. Tazakrook is also really good as well for this core, since it can break some of the steel, or I mean, it can break Scrafty. It can also break Escavalier as well. And also, we can fairly take a grass coverage from Rotom as well. And also, it's a water immunity for Vape. So Vape is not staying in on Tazakrook ever, and that's a free nat spot on whatever their switching is. Because Finch's team is very slow compared to the last team, or to the last game, where he had Silvally and Talonflame. But yeah, my team is a lot faster. Gonna have three fast mons. Being again Tauros. Well, actually, I guess 4, or I guess like 2 fast mons. Being against Tauros and Bait, or Tauros and Rotom. Yeah, my game plan here when fighting Finch was to go in swinging with Tentacruel. That's literally what was, that was really, literally my plan. Go in swinging against Tentacruel. Now I realized something very scary about his team is Scrafty. Scrafty is a mon that and if you guys saw my previous like Showdown live where I fought against Scrafty on ladder, that thing is very nasty. Once it gets going with the setup opportunity, that thing doesn't stop. That's why I like that mon, honestly. Like I really want to use Scrafty at some point. I don't know if it's gonna get popular soon. I don't know, but again, I've seen it twice now so far. Or I guess 3 times actually. I've seen it 3 times now so far. So apparently this one is getting usage to some extent. But yeah, this thing is dangerous. This thing is dangerous because of its setup, because of the chances it can set up, and also it's just bulky as hell. So once it starts setting up, you can't really stop it with a physical attack. So yeah, again, my way to really break his team is with Tentacruel and then kind of end game with either Kanger or Tauros. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I attempt to do anyway. So here we go, game 1 or game 2. Game 2, I lead Zato as he leads SCAF, and he goes for Tech Throw to scout for the Heat Wave. So he scouts for it. What I do here is I think I went for Future Sight, or I went for the port here. I went for port here as I bring in Mudsteel. Now this is a bad play. This is a bad play because this mon, I cannot. My mouse is stupid. Please forgive me. I have to actually hold to click on it. Okay, so again, he scouted for it. Scouted for the Heat Wave, and then he went Scrafty on that. And then I bring in Mudsteel. Now this was a bad play, bringing in Mudsteel. You want to know why this was a bad play, bringing in Mudsteel? This one gets free setup, straight up. That's bad. You don't want to do that. What I should have done, in all honesty, was probably go Tentacruel. I think Tentacruel was very free. The reason why it's so free is because Focus Blast is fairly free against his team. Yeah, he has Garbodor, and yeah, he has Escav, but this is Life Orb Tentacruel, and Focus Blast do be hitting. That move do be hitting, man. That move do be hitting. And Garbodor doesn't usually run ground coverage. It doesn't usually run Stopping Tantrum. So I felt confident enough to apply pressure with Tentacruel. But again, this mon gets free setup, and press is going to do very little damage. Like, very, very little. I go for Rockstar being dummy, or being stupid, and I go Tentacruel here on the switch, and he goes for Knock Off. That was a really good call on his end to go for Knock, because, I mean, he removed lefties, and also, well, yeah, he removes lefties on my Croak, or he could have potentially removed lefties on my Mudsteel, but also he catches everything else on the switching. So him removing Life Orb on my Tentacruel takes a lot, but the thing is that this Tentacruel is Nasty Fly. This being Nasty Fly, I can still apply pressure here. So what I do here is I go for the Focus Blast Raw and I miss. So that's just one miss, you know, it's one miss. I go Zato here in case he wants for rocks, and he just doubles back in the Scrafty. So again, showing just the level of how much Finchender can just check things, or just knows what's happening. He goes for Knockoff there on my switch, and I go for Focus Blast again this time. Actually, I think I went for Nasty Blast this time. Yeah, okay, now I went for Focus Blast there, and he did 27%. So that's actually really good damage. I go for Dark Pulse here, and he is going to go for Pain Split there on my Dark Pulse. So he's going to try and get some chip back. I go Zato here in case he goes for a Spike, and I do catch him on the Spike there. So then what I can do is go for a Port here. So I do go for Port here, or I went for Sight. I think I went for Port here or Sight. No, I went for Port. And I bring in Rotom. Now, honestly, this didn't really get me too much, because yeah, I get momentum with Volt Switch, and I get to actually catch whatever his switching is, whatever the switching would be. But at the same time, I feel like porting into Zato wasn't the best play, in my opinion. It was a good play, because I mean it did cover the Rotom, because I mean it did cover, you know, the spike pressure and everything, and also cover whatever switching he would make. But yeah, Rotom was very obvious. Now again, not like I had anything else to really do against that play, or in this play, but yeah, goes for default, gets it off. He's gonna be able to win this beast, and I get a Volt Switch off. So he's able to remove the hazards, but I can get hazards back up with Mudsteel. So he goes back into Scrafty again, and I go for Press this time, so I'm able to damage it enough. But he can just bulk up here and not really care. So I go for Rocks anyway, I think, or I went for Press again. I went for Rocks there. And I believe this Mudsteel had Toxic on it, but I didn't go for it. So he goes for bulk up again, And now I feel like Focus Blast is still pretty free. Actually, I think I went for Nasty this time. I think I went Nasty here. Nope, I went Focus Blast again. I did 36%. I did 36%. So that's still really good damage on the SCAF. I go Mudslip here in case he techs. He goes for Iron Edge instead. So I'm still able to, get momentum off that. And I can apply pressure with Press again. So Press is still fairly free, but again, he has Mudslip to switch into and also Vape as well. So I go for Press here. And Press is going to do 20-29. So that Vape is... seems to be more physically defensive. So I go Tachiko here as he goes for Wish there to get some momentum back. Goes Garboder here, and I believe I'm for Focus Blast here, and I miss. so that was a pretty big miss. Dark Pulse was probably better there, honestly. He goes for Gunk there on my switch, and he catches me. Gets the poison as well. So Finch is getting a lot of momentum back here. Goes Zatu there as I go for Port. Oh, no, I go for Roost. Never mind. I go for the Roost there. So he catches me on Roost, and now you can just apply pressure here and go for another bulk up. So I go with Tachiko here, and he's going to go for Knock again. So he's just chipping me. He's doing a really good job chipping this Mon. Very, very good job. He goes into Garboder there as I go for a Nazi Plat now. And now what I can do is go for Dark Pulse. So I go for Dark Pulse here, doing 51%, and then he misses Gunk Shot. That's a very, very big miss. If he landed that off, or he got that off and killed my Croak, then this would have been much, much harder. Much harder to get through. Yeah, luckily I dodged that, so I was able to actually get so now I can actually apply pressure with Dark Pulse again. So he's pretty much forced to sack something, so he is going to sack the SCAF here. So the SCAF is going to go down, pretty much dies to a crit. Or, well, not dies to a crit, but you know what I mean. He just sacks it there. So he sacks the SCAF. Now what we can do is bring in Rotom. And what I do here is I go into Mudslip here on the Volt switch. So I'm able to get momentum off that, and I can spam Earthquake if I really want to, or go for a Taunt on the Mudslip switch. Or I can go into my Fighter. But what I do here is I go for the Press again. Press was not a good play, man. I really gotta be on my toes playing against this guy, because again, like I said, he is a very good player. He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing the way he plays. So what I should be doing is I should be trying to reflect that and be more aggressive against him. But again, I wasn't aggressive enough. I was thinking way too much in the moment. And again, you gotta think in the moment, really. You don't want to think too progressively, because then you can overpredict yourself. But I felt like Press was safe enough, so that's why I went for it. Press honestly wasn't that good of a play in hindsight, because that gave him potentially +1 boost with Mudstill. Also gave him Garboder wasn't gonna die to Press. It wasn't. It was gonna take like 12 or 15%. But with the rocks plus spikes, I think that might have been enough, or it might have been barely enough. But yeah, Vape is always his switching on Mudstill. Always gonna be the switching. I mean, he has his own Mudstill anyway. But yeah, Vape was pretty safe. So he's able to get momentum off that, and he can just go for a Wish off, or he can just go for Scald if he wants to. But he's never scalding. Again, he's never scalding, right? Because he's gonna be afraid of Tachiko. Tachiko is not a Mon he wants to deal with at all. He knows this Mon's very dangerous. He's seen it break this team. So yeah. If I could play this game again, and redo the mistakes I made, I would have made a double in the Tachiko. But again, that's just like in the moment, right? That's in the moment. That's very in the moment. But yeah, he was never gonna stay in there since he's locked in. So Croak would have been a safe play. Even Kendra was a safe play too, because that gave me free setup at that point. Yeah, that would have been a very aggressive play as well. But again, didn't think about it. So the game ends up being longer than it should have been. But yeah, he's going to go for a Wish there and try and get his Garboder back. Or even go Mudstill there to take Focus Blast. So I go for Nasty Plat there. So I go for it here. And now what I decide to do is I go for Dark Pulse. Honestly, this was not a good play. I just want to go for the flinch, and I didn't get it. I should have actually went back into Rotom, or just risk Focus Blast. But honestly, that was a very bad play. I didn't have to go for that. I had Rotom, I had Kendra, I had Zatu. I had ways around the Mudstill. Letting Croak die was probably one of the worst plays I made this game, because like I said, it already put a lot of pressure on, and that was without Life Orb. So I made a very bad call doing that. I did not think about that at all. I did not think ahead about that on that play. Yeah, because of that, he's able to kill my Croak, and now he has momentum back in his favor. So what I do is I bring in Rotom, and I go for Leaf Storm here because I feel like I was safe enough, and I do go for it. And it does a lot. It's able to be a 2 kill potentially if he doesn't get the defog off, which he does get first. So he's able to get the defog off and attack the Rotom. So now he can bring in Scrappy, and this is where things get very, very scary, because he can go for +2 right now, and I'm in a very shit position. I'm in a very, very shit position, so I have to go back into Rotom and I have to trick it. If he goes for Knock here, or if he just keeps woking up, I'm in a very bad spot. But yeah, I let him keep setting up, and that was a bad call. But I really just couldn't make the play to go Rotom there. I couldn't do it. I didn't feel safe enough to do it. But he knows. He knows he can't keep hitting me, because if he keeps hitting me, I'll keep boosting up, and then body press will be doing a lot more damage. So he knows that. He knows that to an extent. So he feels safe enough to go to +6 at this point. Which again, I don't really fault him for that. That's a very free setup for him, because he wants to go +6 to make sure that Mudtail can't climb back up with body press from stamina. So I decided to make the play, and I wanted to bring Rotom in so I could trick it. Because again, even Rotom without a trick or without a Scarf is still faster than everything here. So he's gonna go for +6, just seeing as how he's committing at this point. So I go for trick here, and he catches it and goes Mudtail there. So I get lefties back, and he's locked in. Now, these plays right here, I'm not gonna lie, these were some very odd plays I made, because I was very scared. I was very, very scared of how he was playing Scrafty. He was bringing that mon in as many times as he could, and I tried my hardest to make sure he couldn't get that setup going. And also, I really wanted to make sure this Mudtail was put down, and I really had to figure out how to do that without having to let this mon set up. So like, I knew that you know, bringing in Xatu was safe, because all you can do is really click Earthquake or go for Rocks here. So Xatu's safe. This is always safe. I can Roost here too to get recovery back. But at the same time, I can't, because Earthquake will be doing a lot to me with Roost, you know, being able to bring me down to the ground and whatnot. So Roost isn't exactly safe, but I still get recovery off, and I still waste EQ EQ PP. So there is momentum being like, you know, going off here, but it's still very scary at the end of the day. And also, you know, no Rocks down as well, since you're able to remove them still. So I can still get my Rocks down with Mudtail, but again, this provides some setup opportunity with Scrappy, and I can't do that, especially with me already tricking this thing. So what I have to do now is I need to weaken Mudtail to the point where I feel confident where Tauros can actually sweep. Because Tauros is very, very comfortable to sweep right now, but really it's this Mudtail and this Scrafty that I'm very afraid of. So I'm just trying to figure out, okay, how do I really stop this thing from doing stuff? How do I stop this thing from doing stuff? And well, the best solution I could think of was just to keep porting. So that's all I had to do. He goes for Rocks, and I just support here. So I just port here, as he goes Vape there. So I port, he goes Vape, and now I go Tauros here, and I go for a Body Slam here. He's pretty much forced to attack the Garbodor, or just Tech here anyway. So he just goes for the Tech, I go for Body Slam. And this is Life Force, so this will kill. This will definitely kill. And it did. So he sacks the Vape there. Mudtail's in here. And I know for a fact I'm not going to kill this thing. And also, I don't want him going for Body Press on me after +1. Let me show you the calc real quick. Let me show you how bulky Mudtail is. Mudtail is a bulky ass bitch. That thing will lift anything. Yeah, Body Slam does nothing. That's why I don't feel confident. That's why I didn't feel confident enough to just keep spamming Body Slam, because I just don't want to do it. I just don't. I don't know if he has Body Press. I don't know anything. I don't know. So that's why I didn't commit to, you know, staying in with Tauros at that moment, because I don't know. I don't know if he's Body Press or not. If he is, then he can kill me, potentially. He could potentially kill me back. Because again, that's why I didn't feel confident enough to just stay in there. But yeah, Body Press. Let me show you how much that does to Tauros. That's a lot. That's a lot. And he has the stamina boost on top of that. I die. I basically die. That's why I can't do that. And I can't even kill it back after +1. So that is never safe. This is never safe. It's never safe to stay in here and just Body Slam here, because he will do a lot more damage to me than I'm doing to him. And he'll also be taking the hit as well. So it's just not safe. That's why I decided to go Kingdra here and Scout. He goes for Earthquake instead, and Earthquake did a lot to me. That is a fuck ton of damage. Mudtail is a strong bitch. Can I say that again? Mudtail is a strong ass bitch. That mon will live anything. I'm telling you, that mon will live anything. Now bringing in Kingdra, honestly, I don't think it was that good of a play. But also, I felt like it was safe enough to where I think I can DD here and be able to, you know, take this out. But here's the problem. If I DD and he bulks up with Scrafty, he still has a chance to win. I don't want him winning. I want to win. I want to win. I want to win this game. So, I'm trying to figure out, like, if I go for DD here and he kills me, which, I mean, this thing can kill. Let me show you how strong that bitch is. Let me show you how strong Mudtail is. That thing is strong as fuck, man. Like, that thing two-shots me. You see that? That's fucking damage, man. Mudtail's a strong bitch. That thing be hitting hard, man. And it just takes Surf with ease without rain up. That thing is fucking disgusting, man. That thing is so good. This is why it's like the premier rocker, the premier wall in NU, in my opinion. It's just good at being offensive and being defensive at the same time. This thing be hitting hard, man. But yeah, anyways, oh wait, my bad. I went to Showdown. This thing can two-shot me. It's already in range to two-shot me, technically. He just needs a high roll, and the high roll isn't that hard for this thing to get. So I go for DD here, you know, thinking that I could live a hit. And little do I know, I died. So I died there. I bring in Zatsu, and pretty much I'm gonna go for sight here, and he goes for the earthquake. In all honesty, I should have went for heat wave. That would have been a little bit safer for me. At the same time, I'm still not gonna kill Tauros. That's the problem. I can't kill Tauros, or I can't kill Mudsill with Tauros. But yeah, not yet anyway. That's why I decided to go for the sight there. Goes for EQ there. And I go for this port there, and he goes for as I bring in Tauros. And I'm thinking sight works here. It didn't go off. But now he dies. Now he dies to sight, and I don't have to worry about actually hitting this thing again. So I'm able to kill it off, and now Tauros can win. So that's all I really needed there. I just needed that to happen to where now I can just kill this off, and then I can kill off the Garbodor, and I can win. Whew. Yeah, man. I don't want to play around when I fight him. I don't want to play around when I fight players like Finchinator, because like, they'll figure out any way to bring it back. They'll figure out any way to bring it back. And like, this game was a testament to how good Finchinator is. He can bring back a matchup like this, especially if I choke. Like, I was trying my hardest not to choke. My hardest not to choke. But yeah, I didn't want him getting a +1 boost to where he could actually still, you know, take the body slam. That's why I went for sight there, to make sure that, you know, I can kill it off with sight in the body slam, and I'll be fine, and then Tauros can sweep up. So that's what I was going for. I did not want this thing to do anything, and I didn't want him setting up, so that's why I felt like that was the safest play. But yeah, this was probably the best game I had against him. Cause I'm gonna let you know right now, Game 3 was some shit. I'm gonna let you know that right now. Game 3 did not go very well for me. Game 3 was something else. I'm gonna tell you why. Look at the team I have. This team is some shit, bro. like this team was not it. He brought the same team from last game, or from the first game. I didn't think he'd do that. I'm not gonna lie. I did not think he'd bring the same team from last game. But yeah, he brought the same team from last game. So I went in like this. I'm gonna leave Vaporeon and hit things. That's what I was thinking this whole time. I was just like, man, Vaporeon looks kind of good. Because if you guys know this team, I actually used this team in a live as well a while back. This is like a long time ago. This was actually when I think Bronzong and Flygon were still in the metagame. Well, actually, when Flygon was in the metagame. This is like a rebuild of that team. Because I had like a mixed Gon on this team, and I also had yeah, I think I had both. I think I did have Bronzong and Flygon on this team originally. But yeah, this is a very different team. The idea of it was to apply pressure with spikes, and then have Machamp smash things. That was pretty much the idea. Now, unfortunately, that didn't go as planned. Also, Salazzle was really good in this game too. But again, that didn't go as planned. You guys will see what I mean. Matchup wise, though, Machamp looks very good in this scenario. Rotomoss looks pretty good as well, since you can kind of get some volt switching going on. But I'm gonna let you know, there's some issues with this team. The movesets are bad. I didn't actually check the movesets before playing him, and I realized that my Silvally Ground didn't have Flame Charge, and my Rotom didn't have Trick. So yeah, this game went in the wrong direction, especially from turn 1. Because let me show you what happened in turn 1. He led Raja, right? I went for pump and I missed, and then he killed me. So that was a great start. That was a fantastic start for me. Perfect start for Finchinator, of course. I go Machamp here, and I can go for a knockoff, or just Facade here. So I go for knock, it is nothing. Gets a poison on me, so that's great. So that means I'm going to be taking more damage than with Burn. And I honestly would have liked the Burn better, because this thing would have been very good with the Burn. But yeah, no Burn. I get poison instead, so this monster can get worn down even faster. But it's okay. It's okay taking 12%. 60% would have been much better though, but 12% isn't the worst thing. I still get my guts boost, and I can still apply pressure to him. So I can go for Facade here pretty safely if I want to, and I do. And I don't kill. He just gets does a strength at me, and he's backed up full. So what I do here is I go into Salazzle, because Salazzle's going to actually apply pressure here. Actually, no, Selger's also good here too. He goes for Diancie there, and I go for a spike. Now, I could have went for Gage trying to get damage off, but I was just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go for my spikes here and just, you know, do as much as I can. So he goes for Diamond Storm, kills me off, I die, gets +2. Now I go into Rotom here, and I can go for Leaf Storm. That's pretty safe, and I miss. So that's great. That's, again, great start, great start. I die, so that's great. Vileplume comes in here. They go for it again, doing no type of damage. And, you know, this is going fantastic. I go Lazzle here. Goes ground, goes to Valley ground. And I'm just like, you know what? It's just time. And I miss. So I missed all my moves. He goes for multi-skill or multi-attack. I die. I have to go into Salazzle or Silvally, and I have to pray that, you know, I can SD up and maybe set up and win. So I got SD. And luckily for me, I won the speed tie, so that's really cool. And what I have to hope for is that he misses Wisp and I get to kill this off. But unfortunately for me, that's not going to happen. And unfortunately, I don't kill time with him either. So just a lot of things not going in my favor. And again, like I said, I don't have Flame Charge, so that makes things even worse. I go for multi-attack. It still does a lot, but he can just sack this at this point. So he just sacks it. I go for it, and I don't kill it. And he just goes for Scald. So he just knows that, you know, he can win at this point with Machamp. Or with, not with Machamp, but with what's it called? Yeah, he goes for Tech there. I go for his knockoff. I don't kill it, obviously, because he just techs there. So pretty much his job, or what he's trying to do, is try to like end game at this point. Well, actually, he can't really end game because I still have Bullet Punch. He doesn't know that though. He doesn't know I have Bullet Punch. Now, I had to calc this because I feel like maybe if I get the roll, I can kill Diancie. Now, let me show you how much Machamp does to Diancie with the Guts boost. Machamp is a strong bitch, man. It's a strong ass bitch. Yeah, let me show you how much that thing does to Diancie. Diancie's usually defensive these days, or like mixed defensive. Some can be like some other weird stuff. But yeah, close combat with Guts boost does 57 to 68%. That's pretty good odds. Bullet Punch does 51 to 61%. Those aren't good odds for me. I keep going to Showdown. Those aren't good odds for me. So I felt like, you know, I can knock this off, remove its lefties, and I'd be fine. Now, honestly, I think I should have just went for close combat instead. Like, close combat's free. That vape isn't fast. It's not fast enough to where, you know, I could just... It's not fast enough. This game is very winnable with Machamp, but I went for knockoff. That was honestly the worst play I made. I think that might have been the worst play I made in this whole game. Clicking knockoff there. Knowing that close combat is a 2 KO on practically everything. But I did that play instead. And you can't tech long enough to where poison will take me out. So I still have a chance. I still had a chance. But I threw it away. And you also saw how much Facade did to Vileplume. That did a ton. That did a fuck ton. I still had a pretty good chance to win this. But nope. I went for knockoff first. That wasn't enough. I didn't even get the high roll to kill Diancie, so I just die. And that's the game. And that's it. That's how I lost the Finchinator. So I got very close. Honestly. I got very close. I really wish I didn't miss any of my moves. I really do. I really wish I didn't miss any of my moves. And I really wish I had Flame Charge on my Silvally. If all those things were in my favor, if all those things were there, I would have beat him. I think. I got very fucking close. I got very close. But then the game said, nah, bro, Finch has to win. You gotta lose this one. I'm just like, bro, why? Why? Let me get a dub. Let me get one. Like, come on, man. It's my first tour in months. but yeah, this was a very wacky series. I'm not gonna lie, this was a very wacky series. But again, looking back on it now, looking back on these games and everything, I actually had a lot of fun playing Finch. I did. I had a lot of fun playing him. Which is weird. I usually don't have fun when I play Toro games, but for some reason playing Finch actually felt really fun. So, you know, props to him. I had a lot of fun playing him. I don't think he had as much fun as I did, but I actually had a lot of fun playing him. But yeah, I should have been way more aggressive this game. Actually, no, I was being aggressive. I just kept missing. Like, bro, if Diancie died like earlier, Machamp actually could have beat him down. Machamp could have had that end game, man. It could have. But you know, You know, man, it's just the way the game is. It's just the way the game is. You win some and you lose some. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna be that. Again, don't know. I mean, I'll be playing in more tours later on in the future, so you guys can look on for that. But yeah, I do have another tour game coming up for DVP Global, and I have one coming up for RBY. So be on the lookout for those games. And that's pretty much that. So again, GG Finch. Really did enjoy playing the game, and hope you do well. You know, continuing on with the tour and everything. Don't know when the next NU tour will be coming up, but I do feel like I'll do better in that next tour. Promise you, I'll do better in that next one. Yeah, I think there might be like an NU circuit coming up, or it's just gonna be NU seasonal, which I mean will start up like, you know, in the summer, of course. So I got like another month or two until the next NU tour, I guess. So it's not too bad, but yeah, I gotta sharpen up my skills and, you know, play better next time. Yeah, that's gonna be that. So hope y'all enjoyed the tournament review and enjoyed my match against Finchinator. If you guys did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, the Bushido Gang, and subscribe for some more content on the channel. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about the game. And that's gonna be that. Be safe, watch your answer. Peace out.